Hello there, world of tankers. I'm Blitz, and in today's video, we're going to be continuing the age-old debate. What is better, the RHM WT or the ISU 152? Now, both of these vehicles have only one attribute that is very similar, but it makes these vehicles what they are in the game, and that is the 152mm gun that both of these tanks can equip. If you have either of these, I would 100% suggest that you put on the big gun, because there's no point in running it without them. It's not fun. But in today's video, I'm going to be comparing both of the tanks statistically, and as well in some live gameplay, letting you know which one I personally like to run more, and which one I also feel is the better tank. Now, starting off with the RHM, what are the advantages over the ISU? Well, first of all, it has a fully traversable turret, which is definitely an upgrade over a stationary mantlet that you can't really use, unless, of course, you are turning the tank. As well, the RHM has a way better camouflage ratio, which means that you can literally stay 200 meters away from any other vehicle in the game other than maybe some light tanks, and just stay there being undetected. It's something that the RHM is really, really nasty at doing, and whip an HE right into the side of your tank. But then we talk about the downsides of the RHM. First of all, aiming time, yeah, it's definitely not great at 4.8 seconds. And when you add that in with the dispersion at 0.416, yeah, more than half of your shells you probably fire with this tank like 250 meters away at tough tanks to pen, IS-3s, VK100s, you're really going to struggle to penetrate those vehicles, especially the further away they are. When you look at the penetration values, 226, yeah, that's not solid for a Tier 8 tank destroyer. However, the heat on this tank is the most pen out of any singular Tier 8 vehicle in the game at 367 millimeters. It is absolutely ludicrous how much pen that is. That's pretty much enough to actually penetrate any heavy tank in the game, even in the upper plate. It's crazy. Average damage, of course, is 640, and you do have that 960 high explosive damage with your HE. Now, I will say one thing, the ISU actually gets a little more high explosive pen, about 5 millimeters more. It's not the biggest difference, but it can give you a little more leniency, a little more damage on your shots, so that's one thing that's a little bit nice. And as well, the most unfortunate thing about the RHM is the damage per minute, only sitting at 2,300. When we move on to the ISU, first of all, damage per minute is through the roof on this tank at 2,900. Only a 13-second reload. You're actually almost able to out-reload Tier 8 heavy tanks like the IS-5 or the IS-6. As well, dispersion, as you can see, is way better. It's 0.371. Aiming time is pretty much exactly the same. So the ISU is definitely a way more accurate tank, and as well, its penetration values are way better in my opinion. Because 300 millimeters, of course, on standard rounds are amazing for your AP, and as well, your premium rounds, 345. While they are a little bit less than the RHM, you do have shell normalization of 2 degrees on your APCR, which does give you a little bit more leniency, again, on penetrating tanks that have angled armor, spaced armor. Of course, with RHMs, if you're trying to shoot through the side of, let's say, an object 252 with heat, yeah, it's not necessarily going to pen every single time. Now, my personal opinion, I actually like the RHM better because it's a little more interactive playstyle. I think the ISU is more just like a point, shoot, and it pens tank, and that's why I didn't include it on my top 5 derp guns video, because the ISU is actually accurate. You can stay at the back of the map and very easily hit all of your shells that you're aiming at and not worry about penning them. The RHM is just a very big derp cannon. It's not always going to hit its shells, and even when they do hit, 50% of the time they don't penetrate, they wackily don't hit the correct spot, and they'll ricochet off. The RHM is just a very weird tank, but at the same time, it can be very, very fun and influential if you get it into the right position. So I'm going to be pushing my RHM to one of the deadliest spots, in my opinion, on this map, which is, there's a little rock right over here that you're going to see once I do get past this building, but this rock has a bush next to it, and when people like to push up the middle hill and looking at their lineup, they do have some mediums. They got a T-54E1. If they do push up that mill, yes, good English there. If they push up that hill, I should easily be able to hit them. Now, there is, of course, the downside that if they push heavy route here, yeah, I might die. But, again, the RHM's got such a weird camouflage rating, I can actually easily just shoot them and back into cover. So, doesn't look like anybody's going up that hill yet, but as well, nobody's really left spawned, which, yeah, that's not good. I normally like it when my teammates do leave spawn pretty easily. So if they're crossing on the other side of there, I guess I call that medium, and this is more heavy side. Yeah, it looks like they're going this way. So that could be a big downfall for my vehicle. There we go. We got the 44 and right through the turret. As you can see, the RHM's just got the turret there. That's one advantage. If I was in the ISU, I would have had to slowly turn my tank all the way over to hit that 44, and then I would have had to aim it in. That's definitely one advantage the RHM has. So I'm going to be trying to help my my teammate out here as much as I can, but of course you can't save everybody. So we've got this ISU, aim in, and there we go, another nasty shell right into that poor guy. So that's another just chunk of hit points whipped right off that guy. Now, of course, I've got that Luva aiming at me, and I need to be very careful because that's a T30, and yeah, T30 will hurt me a lot. So we have the Luva. Thankfully, it's not going to be pushing out on me anymore. We have that T30. Now, fun fact is you can actually, actually I guess you can't, but you can sometimes penetrate the T30. I know with Hess shells right in the lower plate and some high penetration rounds, but as I said, the ISU might have actually been able to penetrate the T30 in the lower plate. This tank can't with high explosive. But as you can see, I'm very easily pulling out using my turret. It's one thing that the ISU would struggle in a little bit here is getting that turret out. But there we go, aim that in, and another pen. A little bit of a low roll, but you know what? I'm happy with any pens I can get in the game. I do want to stay clear of that T30, though. That's one tank that, yeah, if that hits me, I will be down a lot of hit points. So I'll actually pull up here. As long as that T30 doesn't hit me, I am in the clear. Oof. Don't do it. Please, no. Let's tap an AP shell right. Okay, there you go. You can see the downsides of this gun. First of all, not very accurate, of course. But thankfully, I have a turret, so I'm able to turn it. I'm able to correct my positioning. And we do have this Luva that's pushing out right here. And if it drives over the rails, I will tap it right in the hull. So, actually, there we go. Nice tap right into the turret there. We just broke 3,000 damage. And again, that turret was able to get that shell out. If we were in the ISU, I don't think we would be doing as well here. So there's definitely advantages for the ISU in certain scenarios. Again, we got the Luva pushing up, and there we go. Luva taken out. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get the most damage on that shot, but you know what? I'm already happy with the damage we've pulled out this battle. We've been able to literally just use a singular spot. This is really a super strong spot. If you don't use it, I definitely would suggest you do. All that's left is the T44, and bam, thank you, right into the turret of that tank. And we pretty much held off the entire flank for the team there. We were able to get a lot of supporting fire, 3,600 damage, as you can see, top on the team. That is why I love the RHM. It might not be the most accurate, it might not be the most effective, but it does have the turret. And that turret was able to get me shells that I would not have been able to do in the ISU. In fact, I think if I was in the ISU, I might have died in that scenario just because I'm not flexible, and that's the biggest thing for the RHM. I can push the RHM actually aggressive in some games. You'll see me pushing it right up in the front line, sometimes in Himmelsdorf, because I will be up there with my heavy tanks. I'll watch the enemy team shoot, and then I'll pull out, whip 640 off, and back up because it's so nimble. It's got good track traverse, spotting. So I definitely think, in my opinion, that the RHM is a more fun tank. However, I do feel the ISU is a better vehicle, and the reason for that being it's just because it's accurate. The RHM, it's a gamble if you're going to do well in any single game. That map on Canyon, that game could have gone awful for me if anything bad happens. And yeah, that's just the issue with the RHM is I don't think it's reliable enough. You can either pen your shells very easily, or sometimes they just won't go at all where you're aiming. And you can see that aiming circle on the BL10 we have here is already aimed in pretty easily. Look at that. The aiming circle is great on this tank. Aims in, dispersion is easy. It's got pretty good on-movement dispersion values. So overall, I personally feel the ISU is a better vehicle. However, I actually think the RHM is more fun to play. So there we go. We've got the Tiger spotted. Unfortunately, doesn't look like it's going to be pulling out anytime soon. That ISU is probably going to actually get a little bit better of a position, although can't climb up that position right there. That's mighty unfortunate. So while he's struggling to do that, I'm going to slide past here and climb up this position. I thought he was going to do that, but no, that's a stir mill. Oh, come on. Go, go, go. There we go. Okay, and as well, one thing I forgot is that this tank has way better shell velocity. One thing that actually does matter a crazy amount later in matches. So here we go. Not even going to worry about that not penning. Easy shell right into the Tiger. Armor doesn't really matter that position. So Tiger's going to be whipped off the map here. Of course, because we do have that quick reload, we're able to hit him before he's able to back up. And goodbye, Tiger. So that's another shot right there. We've got the ISU who was just spotted. Doesn't look like it's going to be able to back up super quick. And maybe we'll be able to get a shell into it. I doubt it, but no. Okay, so we weren't able to get that shell off, and they did push as well the medium side. Now, I don't think the RHM would actually be as effective in this position here, just because the RHM, of course, doesn't have that shell velocity, doesn't have that reload. this is definitely a better sitting position for the ISU, but this is what you're supposed to do in the ISU. You're supposed to stay back, do your job. You can push aggressive in it, but I wouldn't suggest it. Maybe 50% of the time, it's just not worth it to push aggressive. I want to get that FE301. That's the biggest target I want to nail right now. If they clear my teammates, I'm going to have to help them. And looks like these guys are getting cleared pretty quickly on this side of the map. Not much I can do there. Type 59 maybe is going to start pushing aggressive here. Okay, we got the Tiger, and let's slam the shell right into the side. Oh, that shell just missed. That's very unfortunate for us. I should have aimed it in a little more, but I thought my Tiger was going to tap the guy as well. So that's unfortunate for me there. But we're going to maybe get a shell into this ISU. Let's aim it in, and kablam, there you go. ISU taken out. So that's very, very accurate shells, as you can see. RHM, I can't say that shot would have hit. So we have the FE301 over here, and just cleared my teammates. So hopefully they're going to be getting a little bit feisty here, a little bit aggressive, which will help us out. We do have that Predator who, yes, come on, and kaboom, yes, 634. I just love this gun. It's so deadly, and it's one thing that's unforgiving. If you get hit by this, it's really not going to let you forget it. So we do have that Predator who looks like it's going to be pulling out. We're not going to be able to tap it as of just yet, but I'm going to be pushing quite aggressive after it here. Let's see. So I'm not going to actually waste my shell yet. I'm just going to keep driving at this guy. We've got the 49 who's coming up behind him. Let's aim it in, and come on, pull out one more time. No! No! Back up, please. Of course he won't. That's my luck. I just want him to back up. Let me shoot you. No! That was my fault. I kind of suck. The only issue I have on PC is that I can't hit my shells very accurately up close, but I will be finishing off this T26 here. We actually don't have the most gun depression, and as well we did get flanked by that FV, so I'm gonna die here. That's actually mighty unfortunate. Unfortunately, I missed that shell. I didn't actually realize, I forgot that they had a pretty solid play on their team. So I don't think we're gonna win this match, and I can't say the RHM would have gone any better in this scenario. I definitely fell apart there on that T26. And I didn't expect the lights to flank as much. This was definitely my fault there at the end. But, yeah, you can see that the RHM and the ISU are both effective in their own scenarios. I personally feel that the RHM is more fun to play, as I said, but the ISU is a more effective tank destroyer. If you're sitting at the back of the map, and most times the ISU will hit its shells, as you saw there, easily get out the damage. It's definitely more effective in my personal opinion. However, I also feel at the same time that the RHM can be just as effective in a scenario like you saw the last game there. So it's honestly up to the player. If you like running the ISU more, then it's obviously a better tank for you. I honestly think that both of them are solid, strong opinions. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Unfortunately, we will not be winning this match. Mediums did a good job on the enemy team. But other than that, guys, I hope you're all doing well out there. Stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next one.